question that focuses tonight's event for us is, what are Singaporean experiences that fit, or what are those that do not fit the official portrait of Singapore? And so I thought of my dad's old blue Daihatsu pickup. For as long as I can remember, my dad had an old blue Daihatsu pickup. The blue pickup had natural air conditioning because my pride of place was in the back, where I would sometimes stand up against the wind as we were driving. Not very safe, but very fun. The pickup truck also had a small black rectangle at the bottom of the door on the driver's side that said in white letters, WMC Electrical Engineering, which were my dad's initials. My dad was not an engineer. He was an electrical contractor. When I was in primary school, Queenstown Primary School, I was very proud of my dad's job because his job had 7 syllables. Electrical contractor. This was many more syllables than my other friends' jobs, my other friends' parents' jobs. My schoolmates' parents had jobs like manager, 3 syllables, taxi driver, 4 syllables, hawker, 2 syllables. I was also very proud of him because he could always get us tickets to go to the National Stadium to watch football. The keropok there was very good, and it was the only place where it was okay for me to stand up randomly and shout at the top of my lungs, "Bradfree Kayu, balik kampung," which were the only Malay words I knew at the time. Dad told me that he could get the tickets to the football matches because he also, besides being an electrical contractor, he also worked as Gua Kim Song's football wiper. So for a long time, I was very impressed that besides being an electrical contractor, he also cleaned Gua Kim Song's balls. The blue pickup was the center of many family activities. When we wanted to see a movie, the blue pickup would take us to Jurong Drive-In, and we would all hang out at Jurong Drive-In watching a kung fu film at midnight in our pajamas. When the extended family wanted a picnic, we would all go to East Coast Park. Mum and Dad would be in the front seat, and then packing to the back of the pickup would be me, Ji, Sai, Si, Go, Sui, Gu, Dua, Gu, Ama, and my cousins, with our char-bee-hoon fried chicken wings and a pot of curry. But the blue pickup wasn't always there. When my dad had a good contract and got paid well, he would sometimes buy a car and let a worker drive the blue pickup. At his richest, he had a brand new Nissan Bluebird, which tickled me to no end because in my little head I kept calling it the Lam Jiao. And when he was poorer, he would turn up in a beige van, and when he only had a blue pickup, I would know that things were not well in the world of electrical contractoring. From Queenstown Primary School, I went to Nanyang Girls High School. At that point, the only schools I thought I would go to were Fairfield Methodist because my primary school crush was going there, Newtown Secondary because CE got Gu Sui Gu all went there, and Queenstown Technical School because it had the word Queenstown in it, and I was a Queenstown girl. But then a prefect 2 years older than me, whom I thought was very cool, went to Nanyang Girls High School, and that's why I chose to go to Nanyang. When I got to Nanyang, I realized that there was only one other girl from Queenstown Primary School. The other girls were mainly from Nanyang Primary School, Raffles Girls Primary School, Henry Park Primary School. They were all Chinese. My best friend from primary school was Anida, and the girl who always sat beside me on the school bus was Usha, but there were no such names in Nanyang. I had a wonderful time in Nanyang and learned a great deal. One of the most important realizations in going to Nanyang was that sometimes the number of syllables in your job title doesn't make you more big shot. In Nanyang, I met schoolmates whose parents had jobs like lawyer, 2 syllables, accountant, 3 syllables, director, 3 syllables. And it became clearer to me in looking down the data sheet that a form teacher would hand out every year for us to check that there were many more people around me whose addresses didn't have block numbers or unit numbers. I also learned that my dad didn't really clean Gua Kim Song's balls. One day I was waiting on the steps of Nanyang where some other students were also waiting for their parents to pick them up after school, when a little boy in his little Nanyang school uniform with the brown pants and a white shirt asked me very casually, Are you waiting for your driver? For a moment there I was stunned and I didn't know what to say. As I saw my dad's black blue pickup truck coming up the driveway, I quickly turned to the boy and said, No, I'm waiting for my dad. And I ran down the steps to the blue pickup. To my eternal regret, for a very brief moment, I wish that my dad had parked to pick me up a distance away on the drive-in where the pickup wouldn't be seen. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Our next guest actually couldn't be here today because she's down with the flu, but she's done some exceptional and valuable work about Singapore, in particular the Eurasian community. Her two books, Elvis Lives in Katong and Elvis Still Lives in Katong, you might be interested to know are non-fiction books. And it's true, he does live in Katong. I didn't believe it until I saw this guy with this big, huge lollipop buying on our food. Anyway, her works are not only fun, they also reveal stories about Singapore and Singaporeans that are vital, but for some reason not as well known as they should be. We really regret that Denise Tessenson is not here, but we are very lucky. Her husband has agreed to come and read on her behalf. Could you please welcome Mr. Steve Hogan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delivering this on behalf of my wife, Denise, who is prostrate with flu and much regrets she can't be here to pass the unwanted gift around. So here goes. Thank you, Colin and Alphonsus, for inviting me to this exciting forum, Singapore Colloquial English. We know how dear it is to all of us who appreciate the authentic and can distinguish a heartfelt alamak from the Malayan. I will refer to Singlish as SCE to placate the academics and also to impress everyone. What may have escaped our collective notice is that some precious words and phrases are vanishing with the banishment of dialects and bizarre which is why the Talking Cock book and website are so vital to our cultural heritage. My particular interest is in the loan words and phrases from all the ethnic languages used in Singapore and Malaysia. The question is whether these lexical items and others which may carry no morally uplifting meanings but were historically widely used, should be identified, and if these lexical items are found to be passing out of usage, proactively preserved and promoted with the younger generation. In a piece of research I undertook, junior college students in their late teens were polled to find out whether the use of these loan words and phrases is still extant with the younger generation. Brooke Giffler, an academic, centered her concept on shared subjective knowledge. This facilitates the uniting of a community because it confers an insider status on members of that community within a national consciousness who have a set of shared assumptions that permits ready communication even on first meeting. The shared subjective knowledge of Singaporeans is also to be found in its linguistic identity, and in particular, the lexical items of SCE. From colonial times we have a stenger, a strong measure of whiskey, the Singapore sling, concocted at the Raffles Hotel, and a standard international cocktail. A peon, an office boy, Asiatic staff. Kaki Lima, 5 foot away, the pavement next to the road where itinerant vendors would ply their wares. From the collective memory, the Gemini Chit Fun Tontine fiasco. When Hokkien mee was known as Rocho mee, the oily man.